Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Emma. I'm going to be guiding you through class today. Let's go ahead and get started in a standing forward fold. So stand near the top third of your mat. Bend your knees a little bit or a lot, especially depending on what kind of day you've had or what time of day it is. That can affect what you're going to want to do here. So you might like to grab the ankles, the elbows, or clasp the hands behind the head. You might like to move around a little bit, sway side to side, shake out the head, or you might just like to be still. Wherever you are, take a few moments to check in with yourself. Notice what's present physically, mentally, the quality of your breath. Not judging these things, just noticing what is present. Then as we start to move, continue to check in with yourself. Does the breath feel choppy or shallow? Maybe it starts to feel a little bit easier, more spacious. Spots in the body that start out tense and tight, how do those feel as we start to move? Really, the practice is all about the observation, not judging or attaching to the outcomes. Just going in with an open mind. Roll out the shoulders a few times, both directions. If you've got the elbows or grip, release that. Walk the hands over to the right. I like a little bend in the right knee. Left leg straight or straighter, pulling the left hip crease back. And then walk the hands over to the left. Little bend left knee, right leg straight or straighter. Walk the hands back through center. Bend your knees, sit like halfway down. Push your butt back and then straighten your legs, drop your head. Again, bend your knees, sit like halfway down, waking up the hamstrings, lift your hips, drop your head. One more, bend your knees, sit like halfway down. Straighten your legs and drop your head. Put your hands down firmly and step back to plank pose. Draw some clockwise circles, shoulders over the wrists without lifting the hips up. And then go the other way as well. Shift your shoulders past your wrists, lower all the way to your belly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the arms back, palms down, thumbs out, tops of the feet down. On an inhale, lift your chest and your arms. Crawl the ribs a little bit more forward, lengthen through your waist. Keep reaching the fingers back, pull your chin to your throat, lengthen your neck. Then walk the feet together, big toes touch, heels touch. Keep the legs glued together and lift your legs up. Shalabhasana, locust pose. Think pinkies towards each other, firm your triceps. 3, 2, 1. Release. Palms up by your sides, left ear to the mat. Try to breathe so deeply here you can feel your low back rise and fall. One more breath. And then bring the right ear to the mat, same thing. Deep breaths all the way into the bottom of your belly. One more. Return the forehead to the mat. Palms down again, thumbs up. Feet start touching. Lift chest, head, arms, and legs. Stay there, or Baddha Hasta, make a bind behind your back. Think knuckles reaching back towards the heels. I actually find it easier to get more lift with the bind. It's almost like that in itself helps you lift up. 3. How much of your thighs can you peel up off of the mat? 2. 1. Release. Hands under shoulders. Roll yourself up, cobra pose. Pin the shoulder heads back. Hug your elbows in. Look over your right shoulder. And left shoulder. Come back through center, find child's pose, knees wide, forehead down. If you prefer knees together, arms by your side, that's an option as well. Feel the outer armpits wrap around a bit. As you breathe, can you feel the ribs expand outwards, sideways? As you breathe out, can you sink your tailbone back more? Feel the texture of your breath at the back of your throat. Ujjayi breath. Inhale up, tabletop. Bump the knees under the hips. Bring your left hand underneath your nose. Stretch your right arm up. Make a fist, roll out your wrist. And then thread your right arm all the way through. Thread the needle pose. Once you're down, walk your left hand forward or half wrap. Toenails pushing down, hips bump slightly right. Breathe into your upper back. Last breath here. Left hand beside your face. Unwind, reach your right arm up. And then take some big backstroke circles with that right arm. 3, 2. After that last one, we're going to go right palm down, fingers point back towards the knees. Shift your weight forwards and backwards a few times, stretching your right forearm. And release. Right hand regular, left arm reach up. Make a fist, roll out your left wrist. Thread your left arm all the way through, palm up. Walk your right hand forward. So the hips, they want to swing over to the right. You're trying to bump the hips to the left so that the twist comes from the middle. Body wants to find the path of least resistance, so going where it's easiest. Many times we're trying to almost create the resistance and breathe there. Walk your right hand back beside your face. Unwind, left arm up. Take some big backstroke circles with that left arm. 3, 2. After that last one, left palm down, fingers back. Shift your weight forwards and backwards a few times. And then turn your left fingertips forward. Spread the hands out a little wider than shoulders. Spike your toes to the mat, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and pedal your legs. Be really gentle. You can always keep a bend in the knees, not to force the poses to look a certain way. The heels are sinking, but they definitely don't have to touch. Knees can remain bent. You're working towards straight legs. They don't need to be there right now. Let's lift both heels up, squeeze the ankle bones in, push the thigh bones out, and then drop your heels over to the right. Option to step the left foot behind the right heel. Push evenly into your palms. Keep your shoulders squared to the ground. Back through center, drop your heels to the left, maybe the right foot stepping behind. Lift up through your waist. Back through center, tippy toes, walk it all the way up to the front. Tiny little baby steps to get there. Feet touch or hip width. Lift up halfway. Forward fold. Inhale, rise, reach up. Bring your hands to your heart and close your eyes or soft gaze down at the fingertips. Lift all 10 toes and softly put them back down. Feel the arches of the feet lift. Imagine zipping up your legs. So you want to feel the pelvic floor lift, belly button drop back, waistline in. Shoulders relax, back of the skull lifts, nice long spine. And for a few breaths, just visualize breathing up and down the length of your spine. Not in a rush to get to the top or the bottom. Think about the breath like a cycle. Breathing through a straw slowly, not about how quickly you can complete the cycle. Release your arms down by your side, Samastitihi. Push into your feet. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up at your thumbs. Exhale, forward fold. Feel free to bend the knees. Lift up halfway. Palms down, step back, or if you're ready, you can jump back, chaturanga, lower on the exhale. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck or roll over your toes, downward facing dog. Head heavy. If you feel rounding in your back, bend your knees more. Focus on the outer hips lifting, lengthening the sides. Wrap the outer armpits around. Imagine you could breathe between the ribs, then pull the bottom ribs in. Look forward, step or jump up to the front, halfway lift, forward fold. Inhale, rise, reach up. Hands, heart. Hands, side. We'll do that again. Inhale, reach up, lean back. Can you get light in the toes? Forward fold, empty. Halfway lift. Step or jump back, chaturanga, lower on the exhale. Inhale, cobra, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Squeeze your quadriceps. That'll help push the thigh bones back. Tone your belly, taking the arch out of the low back. Push into your palms, lengthen your arms. Then look forward, step or jump up to the front. Halfway lift, forward fold. Inhale, rise, reach up. Hands, heart, and hands, side. One more, reach up, lean back a bit. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. Step back or jump back, chaturanga, to the bottom of your breath. Inhale, cobra, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Heels bumped out slightly. If they do touch the mat, can you get lighter in the toes? Lift your right leg up behind you. Bend your knee, stack your hips. Avoid opening the shoulders to the right. Keep dropping the right armpit. Lift up from the left armpit. Start by just rolling out the right ankle. Kick your heel to your butt a few times. And then maybe circle out that right hip. Square off the hips. Step your right foot forward. Spin your back foot flat and rise, warrior one. Rib cage pulling together, gaze up, maybe thumbs touch. Take an inhale. Exhale, skandasana or side lunge at the back of your mat. Deeply bend your left knee. Your right foot can be flexed or flat for side lunge. Try to avoid rounding your back. Use your hands as support if needed. Drive down into your left heel and rise, star pose, straight legs. Squeeze your legs. Once you get to star pose, grab your left wrist and lean over to your right. Inhale back through center. Turn your left toes out. Take a warrior two to the back of your mat. You may need to adjust your feet. Feel the hip points lift up so you're not sticking your butt out behind you. Flip your left palm, reverse warrior. Windmill your hands to the back of your mat. Send your left leg up and back behind you. Exhale, crunch over to the right elbow. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, step up to the left thumb. Bump right foot a little to the right and rise to a high lunge crescent warrior. Take an inhale. Exhale, sweep your arms back and hinge forward. Squeeze your triceps. On your next inhale, pivot up to the right and around to the front, warrior two. One breath, reverse. And then windmill your hands to the front of your mat. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, upward facing. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift your left leg up. Step your left foot forward. Just kidding. Inhale, lift your left leg up, bend your knees, stack your hips. Now avoid opening the shoulders and the chest to the left. Drop your left armpit a little bit. You don't want to compromise by dumping into the right side waist. Roll out the left ankle. Bend, straighten the leg a few times. And roll out the left hip. Step your left foot towards your left thumb and rise up, warrior one. Reach your arms up, maybe palms touch. If it's too much on the shoulders, skip that part. Inhale. Exhale, open up to the right, Skandasana at the back. You can also go side lunge. So Skandasana, left foot flexed, external rotation, side lunge, left foot flat, internal rotation. Either way, drive down into your right heel and rise, star pose, squeeze your legs. When you get there, grab your right wrist and lean to your left. Come back through center, grab a warrior two to the back, turn your right toes out. Again, feel the hip points lift so you're not sticking your butt out behind you. Flip your right palm, reverse. Windmill your hands to the back of your mat. Send your right leg up and back behind you. Crunch over to the left elbow. Right leg up and back. Step forward. Left foot a little to the left. Rise, high lunge. Hinge and sweep your arms back. Squeeze your triceps. Can you bump the right hip a little to the left? Inhale up and around to the front, warrior two. One breath. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your left foot back, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale back. All right, we're going to add on. Inhale. Exhale, right foot step. Warrior one. Skandasana, side lunge at the back. Star pose, inhale. Grab left wrist, lean right. Center. Warrior two to the back. Reverse. Windmill your hands. Send the left leg up and back. Crunch to the right elbow. Fall in triangle. Left foot shoots out, back foot flat. Right arm extending. Palm down or pinky down. Feel nice length through the right side. Right hand down. Step your left foot to your left thumb and come up to a high lunge, crescent warrior. Inhale. Exhale, hinge and sweep your arms back. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, around to the front, warrior two. Straight legs, reverse triangle. Exhale, triangle pose. Reach and go down, grabbing the shin, foot, block. Squeeze your legs. Avoid rounding forward. If that's the case, walk your right hand further up your shin. Rebend your right knee, reverse warrior, inhale. Take your hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale, exhale, left foot step. Warrior one, rise. Skandasana or side lunge at the back. Star pose, inhale. Grab your right wrist and lean to your left. Back to center, warrior two to the back. Reverse. Windmill your hands to the back. Send your right leg up and back. Crunch to your left elbow. Kick the right leg out. Spin your left foot flat and extend your left arm Utthita, fall in triangle. Make sure the back foot spins flat. It's the most important part, one of the most important parts of the pose. Left hand down, step your right foot forward, come up high lunge, crescent warrior. Hinge and sweep your arms back. Inhale up and around to the front, warrior two. Straighten your legs, reverse triangle, reach more up than back. And triangle pose. Reach and go down. Squeeze the legs. You may need a shorter stance on this. Use the left hip to push the right hip to the right. Firm down the outer edge of the right foot. Maybe gaze up, right thumb. And rebend your left knee, reverse warrior. Take your hands down to the mat and step back, chaturanga. We'll do one more, adding on a little bit more poses. Inhale. Exhale, right foot step. Warrior one. Skandasana or side lunge at the back. Star pose, rise. Grab left wrist, lean right. Center. Warrior two, back. Reverse. Windmill hands, back of the mat. Left leg up and back. Crunch, right elbow. Kick it out, fallen triangle. And then we're going to lower our butt down to the ground. Feet flexed. Fold. Flex your feet. Go right down the middle. Lengthen your sides. Pull the outer edges of the feet back. Walk your hands back towards you. Plant your left hand outside your left hip where it just was. Come back to fallen triangle. Lift your hips. Right hand down. Step your left foot forward. Come up to a high lunge, crescent warrior. Inhale. Exhale, hinge and sweep your arms back. Pivot open and around to the front, warrior two. Straighten your legs, reverse triangle. Triangle pose. Squeeze your legs. And then look down, little bend right knee, half moon pose. Bump the right hand forward, mat or block. Flex your left foot. You might even try floating the right fingertips away from the mat or bringing your right hand to your heart center. Keep your hips stacked, your chest open to the left for 3, 2, 1. Long step back, warrior two. Breath in, reverse. Breath out, chaturanga at the front of your mat. Inhale up. Exhale back. Breath in. Breath out, left foot step, warrior one. Skandasana at the back. Star pose. Grab your right wrist and lean left. Center. Warrior two, back. Reverse. Hands to the back. Send your right leg up and back. Crunch to the left elbow. Kick your leg out, fallen triangle. Slow, lower your butt down, legs wide, feet flexed. Walk your hands directly down the middle. Keep flexing your feet, squeezing your quadriceps. And then walk your hands back, right hand outside right hip, lift your hips up. And left hand down, step your right foot forward and rise, high lunge, crescent warrior. Hinge and sweep your arms back. Open up to the left and around to the front, warrior two. Straight legs, reverse triangle. Triangle pose. Don't rush the transitions. Take your time. It's just yoga. There's never a rush to get to the next pose. Look down, little bend left knee, half moon pose. Flex the lifted foot. Maybe you try floating the left fingers away from the ground or bringing your left hand to your heart. 3, 2, 1. Take a long step back, warrior two. Reverse. And both hands to the mat. Step back, chaturanga. Inhale up. And exhale back, down dog. Slide right knee up behind right wrist, pigeon pose, right side. Feel free to stay where you are or walk down onto the forearms. Never pushing your body to the point of pain. Find that edge of discomfort. So if you feel snapping, pulling, intense, sharp, shooting pain, that is a good sign to back off. If you feel more of a dull discomfort, a stretching sensation, that's what we want. I generally say if you can maintain control over your breath, you're just in discomfort, but if your breath starts to get really choppy and shallow, that might be a good sign to back off. Begin to walk your hands back towards you. Bend your left knee and reach back for your left foot. Now you might stay here. You could also use a strap to grab the left foot. Or you can bend the left elbow, try to get the foot to the inner elbow crease. So it's like my left hand's waving towards the camera, and the right arm might reach up and reach for your fingertips. It's important not to just roll onto the right hip here, just like pigeon pose. You're trying to maintain even weight in your hips. 3, 2, 1. Release that grip if you've got it. Then we're going to roll onto the right hip, open up to face towards the left leg. Make sure your hips are a little bit wider than 90 degrees. We're going to go side stretch. Left hand reach for left foot, right arm up and over. Squeeze your left oblique. Keep sinking your right sitting bone towards the ground. And then bring yourself back up. Right hand outside right hip. We're going counter pose. Roll onto the right shin, stargazer. Push your hips, lean back. I even like the left hand kind of behind the skull if that feels all right. And then look down. We'll go left hand down. Step back, downward facing dog. Pigeon pose, left side. Side 2 might feel like an entirely different pose, so feel free to adjust like it is. If you need a prop on this side and not the other, it's all good too. Start to walk your hands back towards you. Bend your right knee, reach back for your right foot. Feel free to stay here or even use a strap. If you want to try mermaid pose, you're going to get the right foot into the wrist crease like you're waving at someone over to your right. Maybe the left arm reaches up and you reach for your fingertips. Now again, it's important not to just dump into the left hip. Try to keep even weight in the hips, and eventually try to square your chest forward towards the front of your mat. Release that grip if you've got it. Roll onto the left hip, open up to the right. Right leg stays straight. You want your hips open a little bit more than 90 degrees. Right hand to the right foot, left arm up and over. Squeeze right oblique to lengthen left side. And then bring yourself back up. Put your left hand outside your left hip, stargazer pose. Push your hips forward, curl back. It's kind of like fallen triangle, but modified. I like right hand behind the skull. And then we'll release. Right hand down, step back, downward facing dog. Look forward, step or jump through to a seat. Plant your feet out in front of you. We're going reverse table. So many times, or sometimes we do reverse plank. Reverse table is a little bit easier. It's a great modification. Hands behind you, fingers forward, feet flat. Lift your hips up, think bridge pose. If that feels like too much on the shoulders, you can take the hands a little wider, turn the fingers outwards a bit. Drop your head back, firm up your glutes. Lower your hips back down. Extend your legs straight, counter pose, Paschimottanasana. Wiggle into your butt bones, stretch both arms up. Fold over your legs, feel free to put a little bend in the knees. Crawl the ribs down the thighs. One more breath. Begin to walk your hands back. Lie down onto your back with the knees bent and the feet flat. Scoop your tailbone, no space between the low back and the mat. Lift your hips up, bridge pose. If you'd like, you could wiggle the hands a little bit closer in. Some people like to grab their ankles. I can't quite reach, but my fingers do brush my heels, so if you can grab your ankles, go for it. 3, 2, and 1. Lower your hips down, take a breath. Walk your feet a little bit more forward, few inches. Now this one's going to be a little bit more challenging. Again, scoop your tailbone, lift your hips up. Like a extended, longer bridge pose. So now you definitely shouldn't be able to reach your ankles. Your knees are not directly over the ankles. Feet are pushing forward, chest back. Try not to let the feet flop outwards. And release. Take a breath. So for this final one, it's going to be mostly hamstrings. I want you to walk your feet even further forward. I like to flex my feet on this one and just drive the heels down, but if you can put your feet flat, you can try that. Scoop your tailbone once again and lift your hips up. You should feel this a lot in the hamstrings, less in the glutes. Try to keep that tuck of the pelvis. Squeeze an imaginary block between your knees for 3. My hips don't go up really high, but you should be able to feel it. 2. 1, lower hips down. Whew, pull your knees into your chest. Rock gently side to side. Take the legs straight up, waterfall pose. You might give a little shake or roll to the ankles, the toes. I also like to extend the arms straight up, relax the fingers like noodles, let the spine feel heavy. Take your arms wide, wrap right leg over left leg, and drop knees to the left. Let the inner thighs relax, shoulder blades nice and heavy. Unwind through center, unravel your legs and switch. Left leg wrapping on top, drop the knees over to the right, gaze left. Feel your breath start to slow. Unravel through center, unravel your legs, give yourself a squeeze. Extend your legs, let the toes flop out. Wiggle shoulder blades flat, belly open. Relax your inner thighs, relax your palms. Let your eyelids feel heavy. Breath natural, no need to control the breath. Observe any shift or change that's happened. Physically, mentally, maybe with the quality of your breath. Give yourself a final few moments of stillness, peace, integration. Shavasana. Slowly start to come back. Wiggle the fingers, the toes. Reawaken your body, and when you feel ready, you can stretch your arms overhead. Hug your knees in and roll to your right or left side. Gradually, we'll make our way up seated, but take your time. Creating a lot of peace and calm in the body and the mind. Some days it feels like you need to give that back to yourself because you can't pour from an empty cup. But some days, if you feel overflowing, just bring to mind someone in your life that you know personally, or maybe you don't, where you can send that good energy off to, someone who might be able to use it today. Bring your hands to heart center. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Namaste. Thank you for choosing to practice with me. I hope you feel peace and calm and ready to take on whatever the rest of the day holds. Thank you for practicing with me. Give it a thumbs up if you liked this class. Let me know what you liked or didn't like in the comments, and I'll see you back next week.